The Chicago Sky should suspend her for this. They won't because they're too damn scared of her fans. But this is some Bush League lack of respect. This behavior can't.
Once more, Angel Reese strikes. I'm not talking about scoring points either. I'm talking about slapping a coach's keyboard in the middle of her team getting completely roasted. One more breakdown. Another humiliating defeat. And we're supposed to call this passion in some way. Stay tuned because the WNBA's most popular drama queen recently made an appearance on ESPN for all the wrong reasons.
Reese supposed to be leading young women and being a great example to girls and kids all over the world. Well, I'm going to tell you, she was not leading by example today.
Once more, here we are. The Washington Mystics just destroyed the Chicago Sky. One more game in the lost column. It was another night when everything fell apart. However, more than just the score went viral this time. Angel Reese was there. And no, I'm not referring to some double-double performance or wild highlight. I'm referring to the time she snatched a keyboard from her coach's hands and walked over to the bench. That isn't annoyance. That's not being a leader. That is blatant disrespect. And it took place directly in front of teammates, fans, and cameras. Come on, what are we doing? It's blowing up your team. The crowd is agitated. The bench appears defeated. Additionally, you're starting arguments with your own employees rather than attempting to unite your team. How can anyone benefit from this? Angel is in her second season already. She is no longer a rookie. This isn't college. When things don't go your way, you don't get to act out. How do you think the rest of the team will remain focused if your franchise player is acting in this way? Let's take a look at the event that made social media go crazy. The game is out of reach in the fourth quarter. The level of tension is increasing. Angel's numbers are good. 15 rebounds and 22 points. She's doing her job, statistically speaking. But it's obvious that the feelings are exploding. Then all of a sudden, Angel approaches and simply slams a keyboard from the coach's grasp. It was a full-on, get that out of my face kind of move, not a bump or accident. That isn't typical. And no, it doesn't matter how upset you are about your touches, the score, the referees, or anything else. She went over the cue. You never touch a coach, their gear, or anything else on that bench that isn't yours. Act like a leader if you want to be one. It wasn't just a humiliating moment. It was detrimental to the organization as a whole. Tell the truth. Would you not bench a teammate in your rec league if you witnessed them engaging in this behavior? So why should we overlook Angel? Let's play a quick game now. What if Caitlin Clark had followed suit? What if Clark slapped a laptop off her coach's lap during a terrible defeat? The internet would malfunction. She would be labeled entitled, toxic, and disrespectful. A panel of 10 people from ESPN would dissect it. Legends of the WNBA would be posting remarks about the importance of respecting the game. She would most likely receive a fine or possibly suspension. However, Angel Reese succeeds. Not a word. The league is where? Where is the responsibility? The lengths people will go to in order to protect Angel while destroying Caitlin for simply existing is absurd. To be clear, I also don't want Clark to be given preferential treatment. However, this double standard is so blatant that it is deafening. For you, a question. Given how vocal Angel's fan base is on social media, do you believe the league is afraid to discipline her? Some people on the internet claim that she is simply overly sentimental or overly concerned. See, I understand. Nobody enjoys losing. However, that lacked passion. It was ego. Being immature is not the same as being intense. Instead of throwing little tantrums because you're upset, true passion looks like diving for loose balls, encouraging teammates, and persevering through difficult games. Are you curious about what true leadership looks like? See athletes such as A.A. Wilson. Observe her behavior during challenging games. She remains composed. She inspires her group. She's too busy battling the media, referees, opponents, and now her own coaching staff, Angel. The W is not at issue here. It has to do with control. Attention is the key. This is a serious question. How long before even her teammates stop supporting her if this kind of behavior persists? Let's take a moment to change the focus. In all of this, where is Coach Tyler Marsh? You are remaining silent after your own player insulted you on national television. No press release, no post-game remarks, no, we'll deal with it internally. Nothing. See, I understand. It's difficult to be a new head coach in the WNBA. Silence, however, is also not leadership. Now was your time to establish a tone. Angel will be in charge from now on unless you take over. No matter how well known they are, you cannot allow players to publicly make fun of your employees and expect the locker room to remain stable. How would you respond in that situation, coaches? Are you keeping the peace by benching her or calling her out? The Twitter army arrives whenever Angel misbehaves. She is authentic. She is sentimental. She is merely defending herself. No, let's stop making excuses. Hold players accountable if you care about them. If not, you're only making the nonsense possible. You cannot claim to be strong while blocking all of your critics. Attacking your coach and then pretending to be the victim online is not acceptable. You must eventually mature. This is not a drama on TikTok, it's basketball played by pros. Even so, we see mature fans supporting her as if she were still a college student. Playing LSU rivalries at the age of 19 might make that work, but in the professional ranks, it quickly becomes stale. Do you believe that by supporting everything she does, her fans are advancing her career or hurting it? Let's be truthful. What do you think the other players of Sky are thinking? Marina McBraw already had chemistry problems the previous year. Rookies are already struggling to find their position in the league, and now they have to deal with this. You believe that this improves team dynamics. Resentment arises when one player consistently misbehaves with no repercussions. Veterans stop speaking up, quiet players start leaving, the culture disintegrates, and no team can win titles with that kind of energy. Would you speak up, or would you simply begin making plans to leave if you were a teammate watching that keyboard moment unfold? As an aside, I would like to give a shout out to Reebok because, wow, you made Angel Reese the face of your company and the poster child for your comeback, and now you're receiving this PR in return. On paper, that endorsement deal most likely looked fantastic, but she is currently in the news for disparaging her own team. What do brands detest more than negative publicity? They appear to be supporting a troublesome child. Reebok needs to keep a close eye on her because this isn't a one-time occurrence, but I'm not saying they should fire her. This is becoming a trend. When players' public behavior devolves into a circus, do you think sponsors should begin holding them responsible? Let's put the drama aside and focus only on basketball. Without a doubt, one of the most diligent players on the court is Angel Reese. As if every possession were personal, she battles for rebounds. She has the grit to dive for loose balls, fight in the paint, and perform the grunt work that isn't always featured on the highlight reels. Here's the real deal though. She isn't famous. Not just yet. Indeed, she is posting respectable figures, including double-digit boards and double-digit points. She's not winning games, but she's a walking hustler. She's not in charge of the tempo. Right now, she isn't the type of player you would base a whole franchise on. Remember that she is still a young woman. She has a lot of room to improve, as she is only in her second season in the league. It's okay. It takes time for each player to grow. No one is requesting that she become Brianna Stewart or Aya Wilson overnight. However, issues arise when your attitude outweighs your influence. You must be able to back it up between the lines if you want to market yourself like a worldwide icon, walk like a superstar, and speak like a superstar. You can't expect everyone to just nod along while you're having sideline tantrums and averaging 13 and 10. Her actions, not her game, are currently garnering media attention. And the WNBA doesn't need that kind of attention in a league that is vying for players' attention. Here's the question. Is it a social media star with a loud attitude and a respectable stature, or are we seeing the emergence of a generational talent? Let's be clear, this has nothing to do with Angel Reese being cancelled. It isn't intimate. The goal is to convey that the WNBA values professionalism, as it doesn't appear to do so at the moment. In the midst of yet another crushing defeat, Angel Reese slapped a coach's keyboard during a live game. That isn't an impromptu error. It's more than just feelings leaking out. A player physically attacking a member of her own coaching staff is what that is. You can't ignore that. This is no longer college. This isn't a reality show. This professional basketball league is attempting to expand its brand, gain new supporters, and establish credibility. Start holding your players to a high standard if you want the world to view your league as a legitimate sports product. Come on, that's ridiculous. Fine. These athletes aren't yet earning millions of dollars. When athletes are setting poor examples on national broadcasts and fans are demanding accountability, a $1,000 or $5,000 fine is meaningless. Here, suspension is your only option. Put her in a chair. Allow her to sense it. At least 2 games. Not only to punish Angel UT, also to safeguard the coaches, the league's reputation, and each team's locker rooms. Because you're inviting chaos if you don't take action. You're implying that it's acceptable to treat your employees disrespectfully, act out during games, and still be selected for the starting lineup the following evening. You don't create a league that way. You lose the locker room that way. That's how you lose the supporters who genuinely care about the basketball aspect of this. The last query. Is it time for the league to make a decision that ought to have been made sooner rather than waiting for the next meltdown to decide to suspend Angel Reese? That's all I have to say, people. Angel Reese recently made headlines once more, but not for the reason she had hoped for. There is silence in the league. The fans are growing louder, but the coach is quiet. Leave your comments below. Does she need to be suspended? Was this merely a matter of passion? Or did she go too far? For more, remember to subscribe and hit the like button. I'll see you all again soon.